a rockabilly party. I feel loose, dick to kind of tawny. Well, there's a place I go at the end of the street. Woo! Cats will be a bopping to that crazy beat. I said, go kitty, go, and they hippily do. Rock a kitty, and mew, 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 stomping on the cat.
Did you know at the last election, 46% of the population voted for the raving monster loony party? And they won.
Stomping on the cat.
And I'm the comedian with a cult following. The cult following at the moment is the Hare Krishna movement.
We've got all the bobbies in our local area have all got their own copies of the Scarman Report, rolled up with a piece of lead piping stuck down the middle.
What is the difference between a flock of Newfoundland geese and 500 SS-20 missiles homing in on Manchester and Birmingham? Answer, as far as the Filingdale's early warning system is concerned, there isn't any difference.
If you wanna be where is that? But you get good to stomping on the cat. Stomping on the cat. When womping, stomping on the cat. Boogity-boo bomping, stomping on the cat. Shim sham chomping, stomping on the cat. Hell, if you wanna be where is that? Baby, pussy over here, we going stomping on the cat. I said, stomping on the cat. Stomping on the cat. Stomping on the cat.
I'm actually rather depressed. I broke up with my boyfriend last week, and it was pretty heavy, actually. It all happened rather suddenly. He came to the flat one day where we used to live, and as usual, I was standing by the sink, washing his hair. We had a pretty good relationship, really. The sex life was, pretty, it was okay. It would have been nice, you know, sometimes it could have just lasted a bit longer, you know. Just would have been nice, you know, sometimes. Not to feel like you were standing on a railway bridge. Watching the 7:45 express to Brighton. It's just, you know, sometimes. Would have been nice to have been on that train too. I'd have been quite happy with East Dulwich. My baby treated me real bad. And you know he made me feel sad. And he also made me feel mad. When I used to go round to his pad. Oh, it don't make me glad. What a lad. I'm gonna tell my dad. Oh, baby, don't you treat me unkind. Shoo-wop, shooby-dooby-dooby-wop. Bacon rind. Baby, don't you treat me like a fool. Ooh, let's go to the swimming pool. My baby left me at the railway station. I guess I was cruel to him. I put him through interrogation. And he was going to his dad's plantation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. In another nation. Oh, I remember that station. The tears rolled down, but I put a brave face on.
One of the things about comedy is to reveal yourself. I'm Scottish. Thank you. And Jewish? Not sure how to react. Still worried after all these years. Liberals, eh? Scottish and Jewish, two racial stereotypes for the price of one. Perhaps the best value on Channel 4 tonight. Perhaps not. I come from Glasgow. Why not? You know the deprivation at the moment under the Tories in Glasgow? Proud new parents are putting the names down at birth for the best social security office in the neighbourhood. Actually, I've really sort of raised myself socially. I've moved to Hampstead, which is London NW Twee. It's so different from Glasgow, so radical chic. For example, we're all into this big campaign at the moment, the Campaign for Real Champagne. Someone's got to do it. And in the high street, the best-selling children's book is the pop-up Kafka. That's the kind of people we are. There's more to life than Hampstead, Arnold. It's a big world out there. I suppose it must be. In the White House, we have Ronald Reagan, the man who was elected president in the International Year of the Disabled. No wonder they don't make 5-year diaries anymore. Thanks to him, we can sleep safely under our beds. And in Downing Street, we have Margaret Thatcher, the self-confessed gang of one. Getting a bit cocky at the moment. Asking about getting India back. Meanwhile, in Britain, 3.5 million unemployed, the People Mountain. That's for the intellectual up there. Has anyone here got a job? You remember jobs? They used to be big in the 60s. But I'm all right, actually, because I'm okay in that department. My agent's got a fantastic bit of business lined up for me. You've heard of Exit. We advertise everywhere. Society for Voluntary Euthanasia. I've been picked to do the first commercial. They tell me it might be a one-off. But as Margaret says, in recession, you've got to go where the work is.
Orienteros, tus chaneleros cuatro, turioles en los televisiones, rastafanerias, homosexuales, lesbianes, en los huachitanarias y pensionistas. Marxistas, socialistas, liberales, anarcosindicales, partacistas, nambi, pambi, ipsi, paxi, milki, sociales democráticos, pakistaneros, indianes, kiprianes y barbados. Feministas radicales, y los masculinistas contra machismo y braggadocio. How's that, everybody? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jim Barclay. I'm the wacky and zany Marxist-Leninist comedian. And it's my job to come on here and tell you jokes which precipitate the downfall of capitalism. So here we go with a start of a 10. But incidentally, ladies and gentlemen, this gear that I am wearing is nothing to do with the act. All I'm doing is modelling the new invasion gear that has been issued to the Royal Marines. Eh? Now through the head so we can show those Argies what hard bastards we can be, eh? Red boots to soak up the bloodstains. And throughout history, Margaret Thatcher has discovered that all successful invaders had things growing out their heads. Right? The Vikings had the wings. Right? The Saxons had the horns. So Margaret Thatcher said to the Marines, don't mess about, lads. Get your bollocks on top of your heads. Look at it, it's all in here. The US Air Force officers have arrived in Greenham Common to fire a cruise missile. 2 officers, both American, will simultaneously press separate buttons. The 2 officers sit in chairs 12 feet apart, and their arms are measured periodically to ensure they do not extend further than 11 foot 6 inches. Very reassuring, isn't it, eh? But one of them could get a 12-foot wide garden rake. They are an elite squad. It's very reassuring. I mean, I'd hate to think that, you know, the destruction of civilization as we know it was brought about by a set of wallies.
He went away.
And you hung around.
And bothered me every night.
And when you wouldn't go out with me,
You said things.
that weren't very nice.
My boyfriend's back and there's going to be trouble.
Hey la, my boyfriend's
back.
You see me coming, better cut out on the double.
Hey la, my boyfriend's back. You've been spreading lies that I was untrue. Hey la, my boyfriend's back.
Look out now, 'cause I'm coming after you.
Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Yeah, he knows that you've been trying, and he knows that you've been lying. He's been gone for such a long time. Hey la, my boyfriend's back.
Now I'm back and things are going to be fine.
Hey la, my boyfriend's back. I'm going to be sorry you were ever born. Hey la, my boyfriend's
I'm
back.
kind of big and I'm awfully strong.
Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Yeah, he knows that you've been cheating. No, you're going to get a beating.
How could you think I'd believe all your lies?
I'm a big man now, but I'll cut you down to size. Oh, wait and see. My boyfriend's back, he's going to save my reputation. Hey la, my boyfriend's back.
If I were you, I'd take a permanent vacation.
Hey la, my boyfriend's back. Yeah, I can hear him coming. No, you better start a running. I can hear him. I can hear him. I can hear him. My boyfriend will be home soon. I think I hear him calling. My boyfriend shall be home soon. And then you will be sorry. I can hear him. I can hear him. I can hear him. I can hear him. My boyfriend's back. Oh, my boyfriend's back.
I come from Hackney, as I say. I'm signing on as well at the moment. And there's 17,000 of us signing on in Hackney. And we all sign Monday mornings, box C, 10:30. Everyone. Queue goes 9 times around the building. It's really interesting. People there with thermoses and sleeping bags, you know. I was down there last week, postman delivered my mail for me, you know. And eventually, after about a week, you actually get into the building. First thing you see is a little sign, please sign on time. Underneath it says, late signers may experience some delay in receiving their gyros. Well, there's nobody in the queue who even knows what a gyro looks like. Actually, no, there was a bloke who, round my way, did receive a gyro once. I don't know him personally, of course, read about it in the newspaper. Headline, Hackney Gazette, man receives gyro, fraud squad to investigate. Eventually you get down the front of the queue to the window. Well, window, it's a kind of dirty piece of disgusting yellow perspex, right? With a little grill down there to talk through, because you're supposed to be on your knees begging, yeah? And the guy in front of you is just gobbed all over it because he didn't get any milk tokens. I thought everyone's in a really bad mood. Keep it light, keep it light. I'll crack a little joke, right? Leaned forward to the counter clerk, gave her my UB40 and said, I have to get back to Bahrain tonight. She said, you leave the country, you prat, we'll cut you off. She starts rifling through her tray, picks out my file. She goes, A de la Tour, 14 Acklam Road. I go, yeah. She says, sorry, can't find your file. I said, listen, love, I've got a bone to pick with you. I did receive a gyro last week, miraculously, but it was only for 8 quid and it should have been for 28 quid. How about that? She says, oh, that's because you got a UB40, you get a discount. He says, oh, Mr. De La Tour, hang on a minute. I got special instructions for you from headquarters, right? Takes like an old packet of silk cut, scrawled across the front, Andy De La Tour, tell him to bog off.
It's actually marvellous to be here. Really smashing. I don't actually get out much myself. You clearly do, otherwise you wouldn't all be here tonight. Fair enough. No, it's smashing to see quite so many people. No, the reason, as I say, I don't actually get out much. What I did was I went on this self-assertion course. I don't know if anyone else... No one's me. Fair enough. Perhaps you don't need to hear. I live in North London, probably the reason why. But anyway, they're marvellous things, actually. I want to talk about them because they're important. What you do on these self-assertion courses is you start off in a group of 12, and you start off, being assertive, I say, by learning to say your name over and over again, which is quite strengthening. And after a while, you get to do that on buses and trains and things, rather marvellous. Saying your name over and over again. That's your Christian name and your surname. It's quite... In fact, actually, last Saturday, we bumped into this other self-assertion group in Oxford Street. It was saying their name over and over again. Dressed in orange. So I don't know. All called Harry. All saying over and over again. Fair enough. Get one. Fair enough. No, fair enough. But as you say, you get to feel fairly assertive. And what we had to do is fieldwork training exercises, which I think is, again, fairly apt. And what we had to do, the whole group of 12 of us, if you're still with the theme, we all had to go into this shop, and all 12 of us, and assertively, I may add, assertively acknowledge in the lift that we'd all farted in the lift. I think the lift attendant was aware of it in any case. Probably quite hard not to be with 12 of us doing. Anyway, fair enough, as you can imagine, I was feeling fairly assertive by now, and I was able to actually go up to this boy and ask him. Sorry, I didn't actually say that was why I went on the course. Partly why I went on the course in the first place. Anyway, I asked him out, and as you can imagine, I was feeling so assertive. I farted instead. But anyway, we got over that surprisingly quickly, actually, which was rather marvellous for me. And, we ended up with the first date. And the lovely thing about this assertion course is that, they do give you helpful hints, what to do, do's and don'ts kind of thing. And they suggest, go somewhere familiar, watch a video, that kind of thing. So I do a lot of driving. I don't know if I share that with anyone here. No, fair enough. Well, anyway, we ended up in the car, brought a video along, and we were watching that for about half an hour. Got a bit boring. I don't actually have a television set in the car, but we were watching the video anyway. Actually, I don't know if there are any couples here tonight. I mean, there's no way of knowing, but no couples, fair enough. Well, you wouldn't know then, but a lot of body language started happening in the car. And I was remembering the release techniques. They're strong on that in the assertion. Well, it'd have to be, wouldn't they, in the assertion course? Let's face it, let's not be silly about it. Anyway, I remember the release techniques, and he was marvellous. Hadn't been trained. He was absolutely smashing. No training course at all. And does anyone drive a Renault 4 here? No Renault 4. Right, well, you wouldn't know then, but fair enough. No, it's OK, you don't have to drive one. But the handbrake actually comes out, there, demonstrate. And not only did he release himself up rather marvellous, he released the handbrake as well. And that's when the earth started to move for me. At least I assumed it did, because the trees started to move back. And we only stopped, actually parked on a gradient, foolishly. Only stopped as a Jaguar that was parked, well, I'll say it was under the Jaguar. Anyway, fair enough. But they gave us a reading list on this course. I don't know if anyone's read the book. It's called For Men Against You haven't read it. Fair enough. For Men Against Sexism. No, sorry, that's not for men. No, it's for men against... Well, somebody on the course said there's probably only 4 men against it, which I thought was quite assertive. Fair enough. But anyway, the author actually has quite clearly spent a very long time, which is rather marvellous, you know, coming to grips, as it were, with the nature of his sexuality. And I opened it up on the first chapter, and there were the titles. The title, I should say. The Socialised Penis. I mean, I had to laugh because I had sort of images of lots and lots of, you know, sort of getting on famously with lots and lots of other, you know, sort of going to parties, wearing funny hats, generally sort of hob and nob. Anyway, seriously, I think that's it.
I'd just like to tell a little story briefly to end the evening. I strolled out the other day. Well, let's be honest, I was flung out. My girlfriend flung me out and... Well, there again, she's not mine. I mean, obviously I don't own her. The autonomous individual I shack up with flung me out, and, well, you know, she just thinks I'm a lousy comic and a lousy lover, and, you know, that night she didn't know which I'd been doing, you know. So I said, look, I don't know what you're worried about, you know, if I was a panda, we could both be world famous for what I just didn't do, you know. She wasn't having any of that, so I left, and it's a funny thing about smoking, actually. A mate of mine, he's addicted to nicotine, and also he's unemployed. Two aren't compatible, are they? I mean, £1.10 a packet, you can't do both, can you? Well, he thought I'd kill 2 birds with 1 stone, got himself a job as a dog in an animal testing laboratory. Really, all the facts he wanted, marvellous. It wasn't so much fun when they bolted the electrode to his scalp and injected his ghoulies full of cancer, you know, but apart from that, it was brilliant, you know. Stumbled on a word there, forgot we were on telly, love it to death. You should have heard what I was going to say, yeah. Anyway, so, you know, we're back on the tube, as you are, you know. Well, obviously not on the tube, you know, Channel 4. I mean, we weren't cool enough for that, you know, but we're on the London Underground, and I saw it, my paranoia. Always happens. The unattended plastic bag. I hate it. I thought I'd do my duty. I said, excuse me, but is that anybody's bag? Russell, 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 up come the standards. Russell, Russell, that Russell translates as, don't embarrass us, you rat bag, don't embarrass us. I said, look, I know it's embarrassing, you know, the tube had stopped in a tunnel just at the wrong time. It's, you know, it's embarrassing, but it could be a bomb, could be a bomb. Is it anybody's bag? Everybody glued to the adverts opposite, reading them, you know, Club 18 to 30 holidays, all that, you know. Of course, you know they're referring to the IQ there. No, you got an IQ over 30, you're not really wally enough to fall for that line, are you? I mean, if you go on this holiday, you might just get laid. It's not going to happen, is it? I know, I went last year, sweet FA. You know? Anyway, so I tried one more time, you know, I thought I'd give it. I said, look, I know it's a bad, but it could be a bomb. Is it anybody's bad? But nobody answers, because the strange thing about the English is they'd rather be blown to smithereens than have anyone notice them, you know. So Chris sits the next station, and Wally gets up and gets out and does his duty, shouts up, stop the train, I've got something to say, as you're meant to do. And I run up, and all the people are doing it. Wally's holding us up, and shaking their standards. And I get to the end, I says to the bloke, look, mate, I'm sorry. I've embarrassed everybody, but there is a plastic bag there, and it's probably just some old lady's home or something, but, you know, he said, no, it's a bomb. I said, what? It's a bomb. We got them on all the carriages, on all the trains, you know. I said, what's all that about? He said, well, actually, it's part of the government's new anti-terrorist IRA offensive, you see. It's based on the same principle as the nuclear peace through strength. See, the idea is if we put our bombs on all the tubes, we're totally safe from all of theirs.